It begins with the city. Nairobi awakens beneath a veil of morning haze, its high rises glowing faintly in the early light, traffic already thick with the rhythm of ambition. From Wilson Airport, a small aircraft waits on the tarmac, its wings still glistening with dew. You board with a strange mixture of calm and electricity in your chest. You are leaving the world you know. The engines hum to life. The tires tremble. Then suddenly, you lift. As the city shrinks beneath you, the human world falls away. In minutes, you're soaring above the Ngong Hills, their soft green curves like sleeping giants. You follow the ghost of the Great Rift Valley, that ancient scar that cleaves Africa's heart in two. Below, the earth shifts shades, tan to ochre, green to gold. To the west, the Mau Escarpment rises like a cracked fortress wall. The plain veers slightly, climbing over its edge, revealing a vastness on the other side that takes your breath. This is not a landscape, it's a promise. The trees thin, the ground stretches, herds become dots, rivers become ribbons of silver. And then, there it is, Masai Mara, unfurling below like a living map. You descend toward a dirt airstrip, maybe Kikorak, Olkiombo, or Mara North, and as the wheels touch down with a gentle jolt, dust swirls into the sunlight. Your journey has shifted, you have crossed an invisible line, from civilization into the story of the earth. Waiting by the airstrip is a 4x4 safari vehicle, its roof open, its guide smiling under the brim of a sun-faded hat. You climb in. The engine rumbles to life again, this time not in flight, but on soil. The red soil of the Mara, pocked with elephant footprints and the whisper of hooves. And so it begins. Within minutes, you see your first elephant, and then a zebra, its stripes like painted poetry in motion. Then a tower of giraffes, stepping delicately across the horizon, necks swaying like reeds in the wind. The vehicle slows. The guide kills the engine, and there in the stillness, the soundscape of the wild begins. The call of distant hyenas, the rustling of wind through grass, the low grumble of a buffalo just out of sight. It is not loud, but it is alive. You are no longer a tourist. You are a witness. At first light, the savannah holds its breath. The air is thick with the scent of dust, wild sage, and a promise of rain. The horizon begins to glow, a slow golden bloom over endless grasslands. Somewhere a lion roars, low, distant, ancient. The sound rolls across the land like thunder under the skin. This is not just wilderness. This is the Masai Mara, a land where life roars, runs, flies, and blooms with unapologetic force. The official story of the Masai Mara Game Reserve begins with a legal act. Legal Notice 271 of 1974, passed by the government of Kenya. It was not just a boundary drawn on a map. It was the birth of a sanctuary. Today, the reserve covers 1,510 square kilometers, its limits clearly demarcated in Boundary Plan 26-50, held under the custody of the Survey of Kenya. Governance of the Mara is shared between two entities. The Narok sector, managed directly by the Narok County government. The Mara Triangle, the western sector, managed by Mara Conservancy Limited on behalf of the county government. Together, they balance state administration and community partnership in safeguarding one of Earth's last great wildlife theaters. Beyond the borders of the reserve stretches the greater Masai Mara ecosystem, a mosaic of protected areas and community conservancies spanning the southern regions of Narok County. This broader ecosystem includes the reserve and 23 community-led conservancies, such as Enankishu, Mara Lemek, Mara Naboisho, Mara North, Nashulai, Olara Motorogi, Olaro North and South, Olchoro Orowa, Olkinye, Older Kesi, Oloisukut, Nyekweri, Masai Moran, Olarai, Nyekweri Olorian, Isadan, Olare Orok, Pardamat, Isinya, and Siana. These conservancies are not just protected spaces. They are partnerships with the Maasai communities, blending wildlife preservation with pastoralism and sustainable tourism. Here, conservation is not imposed. It is lived. The Masai Mara is the northernmost section of the iconic Mara Serengeti ecosystem, a massive transboundary conservation area covering 25,000 square kilometers across Kenya and Tanzania. To the south, it merges seamlessly with Serengeti National Park. To the west, the dramatic cliffs of the Syria or Olulolo Escarpment rise like a guardian wall. To the north and east, the landscape opens into Maasai pastoral lands, where cattle and elephants share the same dust. The reserve's landscape is composed of semi-arid savanna, open plains dotted with flat-topped acacia trees, shrub-covered hills, and the three great arteries of life: the Mara River, the Talak River, and the Sand River. The climate follows a bimodal rainfall pattern, with the long rains from April to May lasting 6 to 8 weeks, and the short rains in November and December lasting 3 to weeks. Rainfall increases markedly from southeast to northwest and varies in time and intensity. Yet even in drought, the Mara pulses with life. And then it begins, what the world knows as the Great Migration, but what locals simply call the Season of Thunder. Each year, over 1 million wildebeest, hundreds of thousands of zebras, and innumerable gazelles surge into the Mara from the Serengeti, driven by instinct, drought, and the scent of grass. At the riverbanks they gather, tense, hesitant. Below, the water hides its secrets. Crocodiles, massive and unmoving, lie in wait. One wildebeest jumps, then another. The river explodes, jaws clamp, chaos, blood, mud. But still they cross, because life here is earned. And waiting on the far banks are lions, hyenas, and the eyes of 100,000 tourists. The Mara is more than migration. It is a living arc of biodiversity. The reserve is home to more than 2,600 African elephants moving slowly, purposefully through forest and grass. Around 37,300 wildebeest, the heartbeat of the ecosystem. More than 32,500 common zebras, striped like brushstrokes on the savanna. Over 11,600 buffalo, dark and brooding, watching everything. Then there are the big five: lion, elephant, buffalo, rhino, and leopard. But here, they are not icons, they are neighbors. In the golden light of early morning, when the savannah still hums with the quiet left over from night, a rumble echoes across the plains, not from thunder, but from something older, deeper. From the east, across the open grasslands, a matriarch leads her herd, massive feet pressing into the earth, ears flared, trunks swaying like pendulums of intuition. The grass bends to her presence. This is not a mere animal. This is the memory of the land, walking. These African elephants, Loxodonta africana, are a keystone species that defines the ecosystem with its sheer presence. Their population moves fluidly between the Mara and the Serengeti, often following seasonal patterns of rain, water availability, and forage growth. Unlike their forest cousins, the savanna elephants of the Mara are the largest land mammals on Earth, with males sometimes weighing over 6,000 kilograms and standing up to 4 meters tall at the shoulder. Their sheer size is awe-inspiring, but it's their behavior and social dynamics that truly set them apart. Every herd is led by a matriarch, typically the oldest and wisest female. Her role is not just leadership, it is survival. She remembers where the waterholes lie, even in drought, which valleys offer shelter from dry season winds, which paths are safe from predators, and when to lead her family away from conflict. The herd is made up of related females, sisters, daughters, nieces, and their calves. Males leave the group at adolescence, roaming alone or forming loose bachelor groups until maturity. These familial groups are intensely social and emotionally connected. They mourn their dead, comfort their young, and use an astonishing array of vocalizations, low-frequency rumbles, and even seismic communication, sending vibrations through the ground that can be felt kilometers away. When a calf dies, the herd may linger for days, touching its body, trumpeting softly. The site is sometimes revisited, as if the elephants are paying tribute. Scientists have no better word for this than grief. To call elephants gardeners of the ecosystem would be an understatement. In the Mara, they are engineers of the land. They knock down trees, turning dense woodland into open plains. They dig water holes in dry riverbeds with their tusks. They strip bark from acacias, allowing light to reach seedlings below. They trample paths that other animals use and disperse seeds across kilometers through their dung. In this way, they shape the landscape, maintaining the delicate balance between grassland and woodland, which in turn supports grazers like zebras and wildebeest and the predators that follow them. Without elephants, the Mara would change, gradually but profoundly. Elephants in the Masai Mara are known for their gentle assertiveness. They are generally calm, but unpredictable when threatened, especially if calves are present. A trumpet blast, flared ears, and a mock charge are all part of their warning display, but often all they do is observe, pausing for long minutes, ears slowly rotating, trunks sniffing the air, as if deciding whether you are worth their curiosity or contempt. Young bulls are often seen sparring playfully, testing strength, but always under the watchful eye of the matriarchs nearby. Calves rarely leave the side of their mothers and are often surrounded by aunties, other females who help raise and protect them. They bathe in rivers, rolling in mud, spraying dust, flapping their ears to cool down. These behaviors are not just for hygiene, they are rituals of bonding, pleasure, and temperature regulation. Elephants in the Mara are not confined to political boundaries. They migrate seamlessly between Kenya and Tanzania, moving between the Mara and the Serengeti. Their movements are dictated by rains, forage availability, and water, not by fences. This cross-border lifestyle has led to transboundary conservation efforts, recognizing that true protection requires cooperation beyond national lines. During the dry season, elephants concentrate near permanent water sources, the Mara River and parts of the Talek River being essential lifelines. In wetter months, they disperse across wider areas, sometimes into community lands and conservancies. These are vast and varied: wildebeest during migration, zebra, often more dangerous due to powerful kicks, buffalo, formidable and defended, occasionally giraffes and even hippos in moments of daring. Hunting success is not guaranteed. Lions fail more often than they succeed. A single injury can end a lioness's career. But when a hunt works, when the flanks close, when the ambush is set, the savanna explodes in violence and dust. After the kill, a hierarchy determines who eats first. Adult males usually feed first, then females, and finally cubs. At a kill site, roaring, snarling, and even brief fights break out, but always within the unspoken rules of pride order. Cubs in the Mara are born in hidden dens, sometimes in rocky kopjes, sometimes in thickets near dry riverbeds. For the first 6 to 8 weeks they remain unseen, fed in secrecy by their mothers. When they finally emerge to join the pride, they are vulnerable, especially to hyenas, leopards, eagles, and rival lions. Mortality rates are high. Up to 80% of cubs may die before reaching adulthood. Yet those who survive grow into some of Africa's most formidable predators, carrying forward the lineage of their matriarchs. In the Mara, pride names, marsh pride, topi pride, and koyanai pride, fig tree pride, are passed between generations, becoming legends whispered by guides and tracked by researchers for decades. Each pride in the Mara controls a home range, from 20 to 150 square kilometers, depending on food, water, and competitor density. Prides may overlap at the edges, but boundaries are generally respected. But males are always moving, seeking opportunities. And that means conflict is never far away. Fights between coalitions can be bloody and fatal, with males using their full weight and canines to inflict lethal injuries. These moments, though rare to witness, are part of what makes the Mara so raw and real. The word Simba comes from Swahili, and its echo runs deep in Maasai culture. Lions are respected as warriors, symbols of strength and leadership. Traditionally, young Masai Marans, warriors, would kill a lion as a rite of passage, a practice that has since been widely abandoned in favor of conservation. Today, the relationship between lions and Maasai communities is one of tension and transformation. Lions occasionally attack livestock, and herders sometimes retaliate. But through conservancies and community partnerships, this dynamic is changing. Compensation programs, predator-proof bomas, livestock enclosures, and lion guardianship initiatives have helped reduce conflict. The leopard especially is a creature of myth, silent, solitary. It glides through the underbrush, kills in silence, and drags its prey high into trees to escape scavengers. Every movement is grace and precision. To see a leopard in the wild is to witness perfection hiding in plain sight. At dusk, beneath the low-hanging branches along the Talek River, the trees whisper and the grass flattens, but no one sees what moves. The impalas freeze. A baboon barks once, short, alarmed. And then silence again. Somewhere in the branches above, a shape unfolds, slow, careful, deliberate, spotted, golden, and coiled with quiet power. The leopard is awake. If the lion is king, the leopard is the assassin of the Mara. Solitary, secretive, and supremely skilled, it moves through this landscape like a phantom, leaving no trail but fear. Though it's one of the big five, the leopard Panthera pardus is the most difficult to spot, not because it is rare, but because it doesn't want to be seen. In the Mara, the leopard is common yet invisible, thriving in the thick riverine forests, rocky outcrops, and dense acacia thickets that fringe the reserve. It is a master of concealment, able to vanish in a blade of grass or become indistinguishable from the branches above. Its coat, golden yellow, rosetted in black, is not for beauty. It's armor, camouflage, a cloak of invisibility. Unlike lions, which move in prides, or cheetahs, which sometimes form sibling coalitions, leopards walk alone. They are the introverts of the carnivore world, powerful, reserved, and absolutely lethal. A mature male leopard in the Masai Mara weighs up to 90 kilograms, while females are lighter and more agile. Compact, muscular, and low to the ground, leopards are designed for ambush, not endurance. Their canines are long, their claws retractable, and their limbs explosive. But what sets them apart is their versatility. Leopards in the Mara kill everything from small birds and rodents, warthogs, impalas, and dik-diks, even young wildebeest and zebra foals. And then, without fanfare, they drag their prey, sometimes heavier than themselves, high into the trees, hanging the body over a branch to protect it from lions, hyenas, and vultures. In this one behavior, you see everything that defines a leopard: strength, foresight, independence, and a refusal to share. Leopards live in exclusive territories, marked by claw marks, urine, and scent glands. A male's range can overlap several female territories, but two adult males rarely share space without conflict. Unlike lions, which roar to declare territory, leopards saw, a hoarse, raspy sound that echoes through the forest at night, like the noise of a wood saw on bark. It is the sound of warning, of presence. A female will raise her cubs alone, hidden in rock crevices or dense bush. For the first few months, the cubs are completely dependent, blind, quiet, and vulnerable. The mother may move them frequently to avoid detection. Cub mortality is high, but those that survive learn the art of stealth early. By 6 months, they are climbing trees. By a year, they hunt insects, reptiles, and eventually small mammals. But the full education of a leopard takes 2 years. And even then, most cubs will never grow old. If the lion announces itself with a roar, the leopard arrives with silence. It hunts alone, mostly at night or in the cool hours of early morning. A leopard may stalk its prey for an hour, using wind direction, terrain, and cover to get within striking range, as close as 5 meters. Then, without a sound, it leaps. The kill is clean, a bite to the throat or a precise clamp on the windpipe. Sometimes it's over in seconds. Other times the struggle is drawn out, muscular, brutal. The leopard does not boast. It does not call others to feed. It eats alone. Quickly, quietly, alert for thieves. In the Masai Mara, leopards are most commonly found along the Mara and Talak rivers, and in the forested valleys of Olare Orak and Naboisho conservancies. Tour guides speak in whispers about famous individuals. A female in the fig tree area, known for raising 5 successful litters in hostile terrain. A massive male near Double Crossing, with torn ears and a scarred face, survivor of many battles. And the mysterious tree ghost, an unnamed cat so rarely seen that only its paw prints and kills remain. Leopards prefer riverine woodlands, where fig trees offer perfect perches and cover, but they are adaptable. In recent years, individuals have been spotted deep into the plains, even among tall grasses, adjusting their patterns to avoid lions which kill leopards on sight. And then comes the spotted hyena, often misunderstood but vital. Hyenas are not the scavenging fools of old tales. In the Mara, they rule in matriarchal clans of up to 80 individuals, led by dominant females. They are intelligent, strategic, and fiercely social, reinforcing bonds through grooming, play, and vocalizations, including their eerie, cackling laugh. Their bodies are built for endurance, powerful necks, sloping backs, jaws strong enough to crush bone. Though opportunistic feeders, they are effective hunters, capable of running prey to exhaustion and dismembering entire carcasses. They are also rivals to lions, often stealing kills or fending them off in bold displays of unity. Hyenas don't just survive, they dominate. And yet some of the Mara's most spectacular residents don't walk, they fly. This is a paradise for birds, home to over 450 species, each more dazzling than the last. The lilac-breasted roller, a flash of purple and turquoise across the savanna skies. The secretary bird, tall and elegant, kicking down snakes with deadly force. The gray-crowned crane, dancing in the wetlands with golden plumes like royalty. And the vultures, nature's janitors, circling high to clean up death before it spreads disease. The sky here is not just blue, it is alive. A journey through the Masai Mara is not just about animal sightings, it is an immersion. You can float above it all in a hot air balloon at dawn, the shadow of elephants tracking below you. You can ride with a Maasai guide on a walking safari, learning the tracks of leopards and the uses of every tree. You can visit a Maasai village, hear their songs, see their fires, and understand their profound relationship to the land. In the Mara, people and nature are not enemies, they are intertwined. Masai Mara is not simply a protected area, it is a global symbol of conservation, a beacon of what can still be saved. Kenya, the proud guardian of this land, offers so much, from the heights of Mount Kenya to the stillness of Lake Nakuru to the elephant herds of Amboseli. But the Mara is where it all comes together. Here, wilderness is not a spectacle, it is truth. When you leave the Masai Mara, you do not simply exit a park. You leave behind a rhythm, a language of survival, a story written in hoofprints and feathers. You carry with you the thundering migration, the stare of a lion at dusk, the whisper of cranes in a wetland dance. And if you listen closely, long after you've returned home, you'll still hear it, the breath of the wild. This is where life was meant to be.